I'd like to welcome to the podium the 2020 valedictorian for Mandarin High School, Princeton Joseph.
Hello, class of 2020. Thank you for the honor of letting me speak today. Hopefully I'm not too boring. I'd first like to thank the many important people who've helped us to get to where we are today. We've been blessed with a great principal and administration, keeping the institution afloat, and numerous wonderful teachers who've worked tirelessly to get us to fill in the right bubbles on our Scantrons, and learn some useful information along the way. We have the parents and relatives who are always our #1 fans, and we have our classmates whose camaraderie has hopefully made our experience here bearable, if not enjoyable. But of all those who've helped you make it, the most important was yourself. Your place here is the culmination of 13 years of hard work, give or take a few years of chewing on crayons back in elementary. You had support, but it was ultimately you that put in the hours to chase your diploma, and you should be proud of that. We've all had our ups and downs, like me writing the speech at 4 a.m., but overall, we're doing all right. That being said, though, today is far from the end of our journey. The world has plenty of challenges left to throw at us, and this year has been a pretty good example. But I think one of my teachers, Mr. Schmidt, put it pretty well when he mentioned how every generation has its set of great challenges to face. Before us, there was a Cold War and the threat of nuclear annihilation. Before that, the 2 World Wars, and so on. Before, we could sit back and let the adults handle such problems, but pretty soon, we're going to be the adults at the wheel. I think we're up for the challenge. We've kept cool thus far during these tumultuous times, not to mention this Florida heat, but we can't get complacent. We have to keep working hard and use what we learned here to give back and improve our communities, whether by community you mean your country or your neighborhood. It's one thing to keep afloat in rough seas like what we've been doing, but it's a whole another to steer the ship towards clear waters. And I encourage all of you to use your numerous talents to steer the ship towards your own vision. Not all of us will be president, but even the little steps you take in improving the lives around you, be it through your career and your friendships, through democracy, or through raising the next generation, they all add up. I don't only want to focus on improving greater society, though. Like history is fraught with plagues and wars, so too are our personal lives full of difficulties, which aren't as widely recognized, but are just as, if not even more important to us as individuals. It could be getting in an argument with a friend, or getting rejected from your dream school, or something worse. It's only you know your deeper struggles. When planet Earth falls into turmoil, it has larger-than-life figures we read about in history class to take over the reins. And we can't all be those big heroes of the world, but I do think that all of us can be the hero of our own story. We're the ultimate decision makers of our own lives. Remember that any step in the right direction is one worth taking. It's impossible to make every single day better than the last, but we can make them better than they would have been if we hadn't tried. That's still worth it. If you can't move faster towards your own goals, you can still reduce how fast you move away from them. That's still worth it. And however motivated or bored you are by this speech, it doesn't really matter, because I can't count the number of times I've watched something late at night, like some video or article, that inspired me to do something the next day, only to wake up tomorrow morning and forget I ever cared. Because it's not about motivation. The most important thing, more so than that, is actually putting real action into it, putting one foot in front of the other. That's what truly leads to change. Before I head off, I haven't recited any motivational quotes yet, so I'll include one here from Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He writes that a blazing fire won't be put out by the obstacles thrown at it. It will instead make flames and brightness out of them, consuming them to glow even brighter. I know it's easier said than done to find silver linings out of hardships, but one thing I think all of them give us is an opportunity to prove to ourselves just how determined we are to succeed against the odds. Just as our class adapted at an unprecedented level to finish our education in the face of COVID-19, you should have faith in yourselves that you can defeat whatever challenges face you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Princeton. You're an inspiration to all of us. Now a few words